I'm Gene Valentino, and I approve this message.
Trump won, but we know the real fight starts now. Congress needs a champion to move the MAGA agenda forward.
I'm Gene Valentino. Like Donald Trump and Elon Musk, I'm not a politician. I'm a businessman and innovator. When I'm elected, I'll put you, the American people, first. We'll abolish federal income taxes. We'll slash the budget and eliminate whole government departments. We'll send every illegal immigrant packing. My message to DC is simple: lead, follow, or get out of the way.
Gene Valentino's Grassroots podcast. He tells the truth. He tries to get information out there to make sure people make good, informed decisions.
Joining us now, GOP political strategist and insider and host of the Grassroots Truth podcast, Gene Valentino, and Director of Communications for the America First Policy Institute, my colleague at AFPI, Hilton Beckham. Good morning.
Good morning, guys.
Good morning.
All right, Hilton. Seems like Kamala's not running for anything. She's running against Trump.
Yes, I mean, that's been the platform all along, and that's been everyone's, problem with Kamala Harris, is that she never finishes the sentence. She's always talking about how, if Donald Trump, who he is and everything he's done against America, even though he hasn't been in office for the past almost 4 years. And then B, she'll say that she's not a continuation of the Biden administration, but that's where it ends. She never actually tells us what she stands for. And when she does throw some ideas out there, like price gouging and things on the economy, it's panned on both the Republican side and the liberal side. So again, we're still waiting to hear what she really stands for. I think it's because she really doesn't want to be held accountable if she becomes president to the things that she said during the campaign. And she wants to be able to become president and do what she wants to do. So it'll be very interesting to see how she plays the last few days of the campaign.
But Gene, what has she done? Has she done enough at all to get voters to know her, to understand her and what her platform's about?
Yeah, I'm looking around trying to find it. Just recently, she announced she doesn't want federal workers and other people in key positions to be college degreed. All of a sudden, she wants to throw that by the wayside as unnecessary. All of the issues are now in plain sight. I mean, I'm trying to figure out what it's going to take for someone to say I'm on the fence, because I don't see how anyone could be on the fence after looking at such a disparity, such a clear distinction between performance and rhetoric. And the media is piling on, so fasten your seatbelt. We're going to see a lot of misinformation. Oh, excuse me, I'm going to call them lies that are now coming out in this desperation 2 days prior to Election Day.
I also want to talk about what Mark Cuban said, because I was just explaining to Mark, I was at the rally in Warren, Michigan yesterday, and spoke to a lot of women in the crowd there, and they were not happy about what he said. But at the same time, it was water off a duck's back for them. They don't care what the Kamala Harris campaign has to say. Let's take a listen to those words from Mark Cuban first before we get to action.
He's wrong by saying that, because if you look in this line behind me, you'll see a lot of smart women.
I say he is very ignorant. I'm upset about it. He doesn't have any idea that Trump women are strong. We work hard, we play hard, and he's an idiot.
I think that Mark Cuban's comment was disgraceful to himself, to his family, to his wife, to his daughter.
That wasn't Mark Cuban. That was the reaction. Those were the ladies that I spoke to yesterday. And like I said, weren't impressed, but at the same time, they said that they've been called plenty of names since they came out, if you could say that, as Trump supporters. So Hilton, as a woman who has worked with Trump, what's your reaction?
I mean, Mark Cuban's just saying the quiet part out loud from the Democrats. It's no secret that the Democrats think that if you are a woman and if you believe in conservative ideas, that you are dumb. They have thought this all along. It all just depends on your political beliefs. But what I really find interesting is I think the Democrats need to take a hard look at themselves, because Kamala's campaign is getting tanked by the men that they are putting out there. Look at Bill Clinton saying that Laken Riley would still be alive if it was under Trump's immigration policies. Look at the garbage comment by Joe Biden. And now Mark Cuban coming out there saying that, he's not surrounded, Donald Trump doesn't surround himself with strong women. So it's very interesting to see that these men go out there and are tanking Kamala's campaign.
Gene, it seems like the Harris campaign here at the last week or so has just been jumping from one fake crisis to the next, whether it was the Madison Square Garden rally last Sunday and the very vile joke that was told on stage. Then they move over to Donald Trump and a comment here. Yesterday, they were trying to invent a controversy when he was about Liz Cheney, when he was clearly talking about serving in the military and having military experience. I mean, are they just throwing everything at the wall, seeing something and hoping something will stick?
Yeah, and who's throwing it? On one side, you have a person who has demonstrated himself as a leader, coming out with clear policies and convictions every time he does open his mouth, even though you may not like the rhetoric at times. And yet on their side, Kamala's side, you hear a lot of celebrities around her throwing out more stuff that doesn't make any sense. But let's put all that rhetoric aside for a second. And just yesterday, she made another gaffe. Am I going to call an attorney general to have her indicted? Because yesterday she said, I worked hard to help those who have harmed American human beings. She's worked hard to help those who are harming Americans. Yet the media glossed right over it, never brought it to anyone's attention. And it's really what she's saying isn't it? That counts, because I don't see anything constructive coming out of her mouth now. We are witnessing in plain view the complete meltdown of the Democrat Party, the Democrat leadership. It's exposing the deep state money that has been pipelined into Democrat candidates to promote a social Marxist cause. And we are about to see, once we have a Republican president, House and Senate, I wouldn't be surprised with constitutional amendments as well to correct the bad behavior that has existed these last 4 years.
Hilton, we've seen this before, and you heard the clip from Kamala Harris comparing Donald Trump with revenge and enemies lists and everything. Now he takes the Liz Cheney, the war hawk things out of proportion, and it's getting so bad with the lawfare. The Arizona Attorney General's office has said it's investigating the former president's comments as a death threat.
Wow.
Yeah. Oh, I know. And this reminds me, remember when Donald Trump was in office and we had Democrats like Kathy Griffin holding up a decapitated head of Donald Trump and it was bleeding? Or you had people like Madonna outside of the White House saying that she dreamed of the White House being blown up. Did anything happen with them? Did any charges get pushed against them? And then also, too, you remember when Biden talked about a bull's being around Trump, and this was just a few days before he got shot at. All the language and the heightened language is coming from the Democrat side, but they're going to point fingers at Donald Trump, take him out of context, and point fingers at him and try to throw him in jail, put charges against him. I mean, the hypocrisy is unreal, and if Americans aren't seeing it, I mean, I don't know what to tell you. This is absolutely unreal coming from the Democrats.
We're going to continue this conversation in the next hour. Hilton, Gene, thank you both so much for joining us, and we'll see you again in the next hour.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Throughout history, the spirit of patriotism has prevailed. The battles may have changed, but the values remain the same. Today, in 2024, we find ourselves at a pivotal moment where the call for unity, freedom, and a better future echoes louder than ever. For more than 10 years, Patriot Mobile has been committed to supporting the values that make our nation great. With affordable plans and reliable nationwide coverage, Patriot Mobile is not just a wireless service. It's a call to action for those who believe in the American dream. Because this year is not just any year, it's the most important year since our nation's founding. Choose a wireless carrier that shares your values. Choose Patriot Mobile.
Joining us now, GOP political strategist and insider and host of the Grassroots Truth podcast, Gene Valentino, and director of communications for the America First Policy Institute, and my colleague at AFPI, Hilton Beckham. Hilton, it seems like Trump is doing 2 or 3 rallies a day. You know this as well as I do. Does he ever get tired?
No, and I love that that was Kamala's talking point, that he was just so exhausted. But no, I mean, this is Donald Trump. This is why people love Donald Trump. He's not this polished politician who gives these stump speeches that we hear over and over and over again. He goes up there and you really don't know what you're going to get. And he really always strikes the moment. And for a far-left media that is constantly trying to paint him in a bad light and take him down, Donald Trump just continues to prove that he can win the news cycle because he hits on these heightened moments, the garbage truck, talking about McDonald's, and even when he got shot in the ear, throwing his fist up in the air and saying, fight. Donald Trump has this earned media strategy just because he is who he is, and people love this very unfiltered side of him.
Gene, talk to us about where the president's focus should be in the final stretch.
Well, I don't think it needs to change, Sarah. I think he needs to stay focused on exactly with what he's doing. He's providing a vision. He's providing a focus. He's providing a direction. He's providing a sense, more importantly, of a national standard, of a patriotism, a culture of, hey, America ain't as bad as the world thinks we are. You know, he's a man who has withstood the test of time, and he's earned my respect. 2 assassination attempts, nearly hit by 1 bullet, and now he's earned the right, in my mind, all his rhetoric aside, to have proven himself to be putting his country first. I don't see that on the Democrat side. I see the Democrats as, oh, I don't know. The problem with liberal political candidates is that they tend to need the job or want the job. Trump doesn't need the job. He's doing this for a public service, even donated his salary in the last term for this nation. People who are on the fence right now need to get off the fence.
Yeah, it's as easy as that, isn't it? Let's listen to an ad, though. It's a Harris campaign ad, which has caused a bit of a stir.
Your turn, honey.
In the one place in America where women still have a right to choose, you can vote any way you want. And no one will ever know.
Did you make the right choice?
Sure did, honey.
Remember, what happens in the booth stays in the booth.
There's just so much to unpack here. Hilton, what message does this ad send?
So secrecy and lies. I mean, that's what it's telling me. You know what I find funny is that, yeah, when it comes to voting, and with Donald Trump, Kamala, Biden, Clinton, everybody, people who felt like they couldn't say who they voted for were the people on Donald Trump's side, because the Democrats, even though they tout that they're, all inclusive and loving and understanding, they cannot tolerate anybody who believes differently than them. It's the Republicans and Donald Trump who have tried their hardest to widen the tent, to say, I don't care if you're Democrat, independent, or Republican. If you believe in putting America first, if you believe in common sense, you're welcome into the party. But we don't see that from the left. And that's why they have to stoop to these levels of putting out these bizarre commercials trying to fearmonger the right and anybody in America to be okay with voting for them. And it's just, it just shows how desperate they are.
I want to switch gears a little bit. There's a new report out this morning by Josh Rogan at the Washington Post. The Chinese hack of Trump and J.D. Vance's cell phones apparently goes much deeper than previously thought, with the Chinese having direct access to private wiretapping services exclusively built for U.S. law enforcement, and that hackers likely still have access. Wow. I mean, Gene, this means the Chinese have access to every single call and text by every single American.
Yeah, I come out of a technology background in my earlier years, and this has been, this is a perfect case of Gino's 3Ds: divert, deflect, distract. We are caught up with all of this conversation on an election in 3 days when China's giggling in the background with advancing their technologies to take us down from within. And one of them is this hacking and a compromise of the 5G network. They are still very much involved with information gathering, not only on Trump, but on the other side as well. There's balloons and all other kinds of drones in the air above capturing data. And I think there has to be a major enema on anything China has in this nation, including taking back the 350,000 acres of land they were entitled to buy in and around military bases. We need a national effort to take out China from the United States.
Absolutely.
It's that bold.
The one thing I do want to point out from that report is that it does not include iMessages or encrypted messaging like Signal and some of the other encrypted apps. Those were not compromised, but regular texts and phone calls are capable of being monitored.
But still a little.
Yeah, many of the services out there definitely have their own encryption. So China made a choice as to what platforms to go after, and we're witnessing it in plain view.
Yeah, scary, scary thought. Hilton, Gene, thank you again.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Because of your overwhelming support, our $14.88 MyPillow has been one of the biggest sales in MyPillow history. I couldn't think of a better way to say thank you than to extend our wholesale pricing through Christmas. Get a classic standard MyPillow for only $14.88. Upgrade to a queen size, just $18.88. King size, only $1 more. Get my body pillows for only $29.88. And ready? Multi-use MyPillows, only $9.88. It's perfect time to stock up for Christmas gifts for everyone on your list. Go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to take advantage of our wholesale pricing. Including my classic standard MyPillows, only $14.88. But that's not all. I'm so confident you're going to love our classic MyPillows that I'm going to extend my 60-day money-back guarantee until March 1st, 2025. Plus, orders over $75 ship absolutely free.